Right. Hello, I'm Anjanette, and welcome to Take a Fool's Advice podcast, where we share our life experiences in hopes that you take away some valuable life lessons we learned on this journey called life. And I have two co-hosts. Introduce yourself.
Well, I'm not. Well, you're a co-host as well. Now, I'm Sean, and we have a very, very, very special guest today, y'all. I have my one and only son on the show on us today, and I'm very, very grateful. I'm very happy about that. Mr. Jamarie, introduce yourself.
How y'all doing? I'm Jamarie. I'm this fella's son, his only son.
That's right.
John, you gotta be still, or you gotta move back some, because half of your head cut off. Yeah.
Well, I got a big head. Give me 2 seconds.
Well, yeah. Huh?
It's my first time doing it, so when you talk, it show your picture, and then when he talk, it show.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I thought on my screen, so now I'm catching on what it's doing. So
I see both of y'all. I see both of y'all at the same time.
I don't. Mine do just what he said too.
Yep, it keeps.
Or something. We don't see your. Do you see his whole head, Jamarie?
I can't see him until he talk.
Oh, talk, John.
What up, y'all?
Now you but sit back, Daddy.
I know I'm sweating.
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
Let's get started. Our time is winding up.
Okay. I'm gonna start it because since it was my idea to have my son on. I wanted my son to share if he would. He ain't really that type of guy to want to do all that, but I love and I appreciate that he doing it for me. I just want him to share with some kids, or not kids, but men or children, what's it like to have a father that's been out of their life for 20 years incarcerated. What was their feelings? Because I can imagine, but you really don't know until you talk to that person. So, Jamarie, starting off with you, how did growing up for you? Because I was in your life until you was 5. You remember that, right?
I remember some of it.
And I went to prison. I came to see you last, and I went to prison. And I went to
the last day. Yeah, the last day I couldn't go with you. Yeah, that's about the last time I remember.
Mm-hmm. I came to get you. Mom wouldn't let me go. Wouldn't let you go. I then went to prison soon after that, and we didn't see each other. Well, we saw each other in prison, but we didn't see each other face to face again till you was my age, basically going to prison. So but that's a lot to go through as a kid. And I can remember conversations, but I'm gonna bring one of them up. But I know what was you really going through? What was you thinking? Can you give me a paper towel, please?
It depends on like what age and what points you talking about. What did I think? Because at the same time I was a kid, so I really didn't even really know what happened. I just didn't see you for a while.
Well, let's say starting off as a teenager.
Back in the day, black women weren't telling their kids their daddy in jail. I don't remember what she told me, but she didn't say you was locked up.
Well, not starting off as a teenager. Start off like in elementary, when it was daddy day, when daddies came to school. Did you feel some type of way during that time? Who came to school for you then?
Nobody.
And did you feel some type of way, or it just was normal to you?
I don't recall feeling no way. I don't want to say I normalized it, but it was, I knew I had a daddy. It really, I was a class clown even as a kid. So it was like, I made the best of my situations in either way it went. So, it was so long ago, I really can't remember. Like, I don't really think I felt no type of way like that.
I don't think you did either.
Well, you know what? And I was blessed to be able to talk to him while I was incarcerated. And I thank my auntie, Erica's mom, Ruth. She was really a very, very helpful person with me and my son. And she would go get him and bring him over to talk to me. God rest her soul. I love her to death. But I can remember a conversation that I had with Jamarie when he was a kid. And he told me, I said, he said, something about the kids, was asking where his daddy was at. And he said, none of your business. And so I asked him why he said that. He said, cuz I was embarrassed or something like that. But he was a little boy.
I don't remember that because I was that's almost 30 years ago.
I remember it. I know. But you all but I told you this. This is what I told him. I said, son, I said, people may think a person goes to prison to do 20 years to get away from their son. I said, if a person thinks that, they're crazy. Nobody wants to get 20 years to not be in their son's life. And I was in your life until I went to prison. So I said that to let him understand that there's a circumstance that's making me not do it, although I paused it. This wasn't nothing to be embarrassed about. This was something to learn. Because, and I told him this is what happens when things go the wrong way. You end up incarcerated, not even be around your own children. So I remember that conversation. Excuse me. Also,
and to say, coming from a small town, not that, of course he knew who his daddy was, because all his life he was, I'm sure he was told, is you look just like your daddy. They didn't even have to know you was his daddy, but when they saw him, you look just like your daddy. So he heard that all his life, I'm sure.
Yeah, I still hear it to this day.
So you do look like your handsome. You better be glad you look like your handsome father, not your mama. I'm just playing. but seriously, me and Jamarie, this is what's so special about me and him. And this I want, the rainbow at the end of the pain. We close. We have a lot of life. We've had our arguments and our differences. We are a lot of life. And in some instances, that makes some people not get along. But for me and him, we so much alike that we won't just, all right, I'm not going to talk to him. We'll go about our business versus allowing ourselves to be all frustrated. You get what I'm saying? And Jeanette?
Yeah. You know, I was saying, we just talked about that before you got on camera. I thought I'd come back down there. I'm going to get me a hotel. I am not moving on your time no more.
Hey, yeah, that's on you. But there's certain things that I'm just not going to do as a father. You a grown man, grown man. I wouldn't feel right. There's certain things I just can't do. And I hope you will never do certain things that you have made for your principal morals to your children. And you know, because
do y'all feel like y'all relationship, since you did miss those 20 years from 5 to 25, do y'all feel like y'all really know each other as a father and son, or do y'all know, do you expect it to be something else?
You want to go first, Mark? I'll go.
And I ain't really got no expectations or nothing. I mean, I'm grown now.
Exactly.
I mean, wait, you can bring me a big wheel if you want to. I'm just saying. But nah, I don't. I'm just focusing on one day, becoming a father, making sure, I do what I need to do. But I mean, that's my daddy, so.
My son, very, very intelligent. And he got a lot of my craziness in him. We got twerks like a jerk or something. We got that little crazy spice in us. But the thing, like I said, dealing with Jamarie, for me, it was refreshing because he was like me. His understanding is similar to mine. And so, like I said, for me, that's a blessing. And one of my favorite things one thing that I cherished that he told me, he said, and I knew what he meant when he said it. He said, Pop, out of everybody, I know anything I got to talk about, I know I can come to you. And I know what he meant by that. You know what I'm saying? He know I'm going to give it to him in a way he going to understand it, whether it's raw or, you know what I'm saying? But he know we going to be able to get on the same level with each other.
You're not going to judge him.
It's not so much about judging, but it is. But we can get on the same level with each other on our thinking because I understand him. And he understands me. But like I said, as a father and son, I don't think Mark kind of like me in a way, maybe. We kind of offish to ourselves. So, me and him get together. We going to eat, do our thing, you know, talk. We went to the last time I came to Illinois with him, and we went to what was it, Hot Buffalo Wings, whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, we went to this. We drinking margaritas. I'm getting the hottest stuff in there. Mar got some hot stuff trying to get people to taste it. This is the hottest stuff they had in there. Then we went to the taco place. And I threw all up. Now that was a crazy situation right there, Antoinette. We was in Indianapolis actually seeing you. Yeah. We went to some place in Indianapolis. And you know, I'm keeping it real. I cough a lot when I hit the little tree.
Didn't we go to with the Joe's Crab Shack, didn't we?
Right.
So
we went to Joe's Crab Shack because I was trying to go to Ruth Chris.
We went not anywhere I got that. We went to a Mexican place. And I ate there and was full. I didn't get sick. I was stomach full and hit that weed and coughed and threw up everywhere. You don't remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. You was in the parking lot. You had to get out and just find tap. Man, I remember that.
Hey, like, Pop, don't even get out the car. He said, don't even worry about it. Hey, he just like that. Don't even worry. He was looking at me like I was a kid. Don't even worry about it. He went in and got me napkins and all kinds of wipes and stuff. Man, that stuff was everywhere. I know that was embarrassing. But the point I'm saying.
Well, I want to just get on I want to say something. Just, what would you tell somebody, like somebody is looking at this, who is getting ready to go to prison, who is getting ready to leave their son. So after 20 years, this probably give them hope that afterward, it seemed terrible right now, but this probably give them hope that, like, y'all got this relationship now. This person might be starting off, you know, getting ready to lose their dad, or this person might be a teenager getting ready to lose their dad and not going to see their dad again until they're in their 50s or 60s. You see what I'm saying? So just to help somebody, what kept y'all so close? I know part of it was family kept you close because Marv was, as he was growing up and young, you know, he had a lot of contact with grandma. His grandma made sure that he had a lot of contact with grandma Inez.
He had a lot of contact with my family, period, because I would take him around. But this would be my partial advice. And Mar, you could say what your advice be from a kid perspective or child, what you would thought, whatever. But from my perspective, I'm going to say this first, and then I'm going to go into what I'm saying. The first thing you should do, even though it may be too late, like it was for me, and it may be for someone else, but for those who thinking about it, about teeter-tottering, you have to consider the people you love before you make an action. If you love something enough that where it bothers you that you're not going to be able to see it, touch it, feel it, you have to consider it before you make that act. And if you make that act after considering it, and you lose all this type of stuff, then don't go to your child telling him, "Oh man, sorry, the people got me." No, tell them the truth. I thought about you, but I wasn't thinking of. I didn't care at the time, because that's the truth. What you love, see, you got to protect your children. That's your job. I failed at that. My son was raised by another man. And to say something about that, when I came home, and I asked Jamarie this, I don't know if you remember. I said, Jamarie, do you love that man? You said, yeah. Because they had that situation. I said, well, you wrong. So when Mark told me that, I came out of prison and went to that man. Did he tell you what I told him, Mark?
I was right here.
Oh, I told him I appreciated him for making sure my son was all right. I didn't get out with the hate on him. I didn't get out with an attitude. God blessed me to make my son is healthy and all right. And he took care of my son and made him do something I couldn't do. So as a man, I had to accept that. And that's why one thing I'm blessed, my son calls me father. He always knew that. But he has respect for me like I got respect for him. And I got respect for his stepfather. Because some kids don't be so lucky. They get beat, they get raped, some get killed. So you need to respect that if it's too late. And you have to consider that there's going to be all kinds of obstacles and things that's going to thwart you from possibly contacting your children, whether it be finances, these hot pants women, they're going to go on about their business. But the essence of your situation is you want to be with your relationship with your child. So we have to grow up and go beyond that little kitty stuff. And so that's what I would tell a person, lastly on that, is that if you do happen to go to prison, you want to keep the doors open. You want to realistically understand what's really going on. Because I used to say this, but since being out, it is totally different from the streets of the prison. Totally. And you could have made me believe that in prison. And everybody
tell you that all the time.
Huh?
I used to tell you that all the time.
But here's the thing. Yeah, you did. But here's the thing. When you in the prison, you ain't got drugs, you ain't got alcohol, you ain't got women, you ain't got nothing. Your mind is clear. So you plan to do nothing but the right thing. You ain't got nothing else to do. You already in hell. So, but seriously, you realistically start saying, man, I'm gonna get out, go to work, I'm gonna go to church, I'm gonna get the business, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. As soon as you hit the streets, man, you back to smoking crack again. You back to shooting dope. It really happens like that. And I'm not talking to somebody or down to somebody because I understand and understand the situation, but you got to understand that it's two different worlds out here. And if Poo-Poo was broke when you left and you go do 50 years, guess what? If you ain't heard from Poo-Poo and Poo-Poo ain't dead, guess what? Poo-Poo probably still broke. That's why Poo-Poo didn't steal you no money. See, that's the other thing we get messed about. So realistically, if the people broke when you left, or you was the money giver, how in the hell they gonna send you something? So don't get mad at them.
Right.
But love. If you love somebody, you keep in contact with them. It ain't all about money. So that's my advice I would give somebody. Jamarie, what would you say as a son position? Or child position? I ain't gonna say child, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, because y'all keep trying to put me at a child place. I can't even go back that far no more. Because it's different now, though. Shit, I mean, you gotta think about it. Like back in the day, you couldn't just up and call your kids if somebody didn't have a landline telephone. Like we talking about back in these days. Nowadays, you talking about kids got tablets, they own phones. Like it's probably easy to get in contact with your kids from jail now instead like you used to send letters and occasionally get a collect call, but that back then that cost. So I mean, it's probably like a whole lot easier, but I just say like as far as kids, they ain't gonna understand if they kids. But like if you went to jail when I was probably like 16 or something like that, I probably could have understood everything a whole lot more. And see, like I never knew what you went to jail for. I didn't even know you was in jail to a certain age, and it was just like shit, I still couldn't process it because it was just like shit, I had to keep going on with my daily life, what I'm saying, as a kid. But I don't like resent you or nothing like that. It's what I kick it with you, what I'm saying? I call me FaceTime, call me, blow my phone up when you partying too much and want to be philosophical and all this. I got to sit there and listen to you for about 20 minutes. I don't mind it.
But it's good talk though, baby. It's good talk.
Yeah, but like it can't get no stronger no way. Cause like you said, my daddy, I'm your son, but.
What is you saying, man? I'll call you because I love you. And if I got a buzz and I'll call you, I ain't gonna be talking crazy. I'm gonna be telling you something here. Now keep it real.
Being on camera. I ain't gotta tell nobody business. That's why I'm glad you ain't on here telling my business. Cause I don't do that.
If you call me sometime.
Yeah, you call me. Let's say you just call me inebriated sometimes. How about that?
I do what?
You be highly inebriated sometimes when you call me. How about we just say it like that?
I be what is what?
Inebriated.
Oh, yeah, I be inebriated. You, how many times you call me inebriated? I had to, Lord Jesus, you worse than me. And both of us.
You didn't say Jamarie is a rapper. Your son is a rapper.
You didn't have to say Jamarie is a rapper. Introducing Jamarie on the show. You can tell me you're a rapper.
My nephew is a rapper. Jamarie, do you wanna give do a rap before we leave?
Tell her she gonna pay.
Nah, I don't want to do no rap, but I can plug him into my music because I really don't just have nothing just to think of, and then I got a lot of explicit music, but it's for the ladies though. But I got some things coming for others too.
He asked for it. Give it to her, nephew. Give it.
Give yourself a plug where they can find you at.
That's what I'm getting to now. You can also find me on Instagram at Out the Frame. You can also find me on Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere music is sold digitally at 462 Swanson. And you can follow me on TikTok. I'm just now getting past 1,000 some followers, so I be going live every now and then. That's under King Swanee. My Facebook kind of personal, so I don't really just give that out. But if you find it, you're lucky.
Well, they're gonna find it in the hard to find. But yeah, but one thing I want to say though, I had to tell Mar that, you know, Mar is a hell of a music. I like my son music. If I didn't, I would tell him.
I tell him all the time, I love his music, but you know, just for me, the cussing, but I tell him he is so talented.
But listen, what I tell you,
I can't really just like rap because I would have to rap something I wrote, and that's almost stuck I cussing. So I try to make this interview possible.
I want to tell you the story I was telling about you. Hold up, because it has a catch to it. He's very talented. I love his music, but I have to tell him sometimes you're not Dr. Dre, baby. Because Mara pump his head up like, I don't want to go do this show. Hey, you're not Dre yet, baby.
I've been there already. I'm not lowballing myself for the next person to lowball me. If I'm gonna go do a show for $100, what makes everybody else not come to me for $100? I don't want that. Like my first show I got what $1,850 for 20 minutes of showtime. My booking price starts at $2,000. I ain't going no less than that.
I mean, that's what you want to be booked at. That's what you want to be booked at. That's not bad. I mean,
that's just for 20 minutes, like at a club walk through. You know,
I think that's, honestly,
$5K.
Honestly, I think that's fair because I found out Moneybag Yo and all the people doing $200,000-$300,000 a show, and that's ridiculous money to do a show.
That's a concert. It's not a show. I mean, a show is like if I go to a club and be there for like 20 minutes. That's a show, like a walk-through club.
Hold on.
You talk about doing shows like Moneybag Yo. My show price starts at $20,000 for that because you got to do a whole hour set. Like it's different.
It's $20,000.
Yeah, I start off at $20,000 for a whole hour set.
Have you ever got that a show that booked you for that much?
Nah, I made that much though, because all my shows I wasn't a headliner. I was always the opening act, but I was getting paid damn near as much as, you know what I'm saying, close to them. Like I said, my next check after that was $3,800 for 22 minutes. Like it just kept going up. So it was just it wasn't that bad, but you know, that one guy I was performing for, he was charging $180,000. He was the headliner. He was over Kid Cudi, you know, and Kid Cudi was getting $90,000 and dude was getting $180,000. I made $5,000. But it's just because I was just the opening act at the last minute. I just got put on. I got put on because I ran into the dude, didn't know who he was, and gave him some weed, and just come find out he's the person everybody's looking for at this Victoria's Secret Fest. I didn't even know him. And that's how relationships get built, and that's how I got my first contract and got my first shows.
You know, you have touched a lot of people's hands, a lot of celebrity hands. I see your pictures, and like I said, man,
my first show was be the best though, because I know for a fact, just me saying as a man from Danville, ain't nobody around here gonna ever be able to go perform where I performed at, and that's the Surf Ballroom. And if y'all know anything about that song, La Bamba, that was the last place he performed at before his plane crashed. And somebody else died right after they flew out of there in Clear Lake, Iowa. And that was where my first show was at. So I actually shared the same stage as Richie Valens. You know what I'm saying? Like boy, come on, man. I got highlights in my life.
That studio you be in and recording your music, it's a grade A1 studio because that music be Charlie Wilson, it'd be good sound.
Disney, Nickelodeon, like all them use his studio. Like Eric
is got a great studio. I'm talking about his sound quality is perfection. Because I can turn on, like I say, you know how you turn on some songs, it's Lord in the other song. So and that